Welcome to final round coverage of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. We're at the Pinnacle Country Club in Rogers, Arkansas. Already some fireworks here on the golf course. Michelle Wie started the day with a 2-shot lead. Chella Choi started 3 back, playing in the final group. She'd already had a couple of birdies by the time she got to the 6th. And how about this, Judy?
It was a 6-iron that everyone would like to experience one of these days.
So Chella Choi tying the lead at 10 under par with an ace, a hole-in-one at the 6th hole, the second of her competitive career. And she is trying to win for the first time on the LPGA Tour. That would be a moment to remember if she can get this job done today. It'll be fun to watch. Angela Stanford has a 1-shot lead currently. She lost in a playoff here back in 2009. Christy Kerr going along well, 3 under for her day. Stacey Lewis has moved up there, just birdied the 11th to get to 9 under par. Michelle Wie, a couple of bogeys over the last few holes, has dropped back, but plenty of time for Wie to get back to the top of this leaderboard. I'm Tom Abbott, joined by Judy Rankin, our hole announcer Kurt Byram. Out on the golf course, Jerry Foltz and Karen Stubbles. Jerry is with that final grouping of Michelle Wie, So-Yo Yu and Chella Choi. Karen Stubbles with Kerr, Stanford, and Suzanne Pedersen. And we go out to the 12th hole, and here is Angela Stanford, and Karen Stubbles is watching.
Angela has 152 yards here, downwind. This is an incredibly tough hole location today. Oh, it's got to get up.
Now live with Christy Kerr. What makes it so difficult, that whole location, Karen?
There's only 4 yards to the right of it. There's a massive drop off, and then left of it there's a big slope, and if you miss it and it stays up on the top level left, it's going to leave an impossible shot. As you can see here, you can see Christy's ball catching that slope and bringing it back down.
A really good chance for Christy Kerr to potentially tie the lead. Angela Stanford, who she's playing alongside, has a 1-shot advantage at the moment.
Only 12 feet to the right of that whole location.
Back to 11, and time to bring in Kurt Byram.
Thank you, Tom. Chella Choi for her par.
Missed the green long and left, Kurt. Bad pitch shot to there.
Short par 3, only 147 yards today, but a good back left hole location.
This is Lydia Ko at the 14th hole, the par 5. This is her 3rd shot.
Lydia is 3 under par for the day, 8 under par for the tournament.
It's only 3 behind. Back to 11.
Michelle Wie, this is for her par.
To avoid 3 consecutive bogeys here. Missed the green well left. Great pitch shot, but still a 4.
Starting to look like it's not her day.
Well, you just can only speculate, but she has to be just completely emotionally drained after the win at the U.S. Women's Open and then the ensuing media circus, and then showing up here and playing so well for 2 days.
The scoring is really good today. Michelle Wie, to be honest with you, among the leaders, she's really the only one over par today.
Kurt, there's only 3 players on the golf course who have not made a birdie today, and one of those is Michelle Wie.
Well, I would not have bet on that. Stanford still at the top at 11 under par. Christy Kerr having a good day, 1 shot behind. Stacey Lewis, as usual, every week she's knocking on the door again to try to win. Always in the hunt. Lydia Ko right there. Suzanne Pedersen. Jarena Pillar a couple under today. She's 3 shots back. Par 3 15th. Alina Sharp will be first for birdie, and she is a long way from the hole. 15, only 136 yards. There's a great look from up above. The hole location today is on the right side of the green. The caddy has the flagstick in his hands there, so she's looking at it's got to be at least 60 feet, maybe more. Very elevated tee here at 15. Sometimes a little bit of trouble getting the right club. And nicely done from long range.
Back over to the 12th, Angela Stanford, championship leader, and staring down this birdie putt.
It's about 40 foot, Tom. It's going to go down a slope to this very lower back right level here, and it should move a little to her right as well. It would be fairly quick.
Back on the tee now. Angela Stanford should make her four with that good effort. Let's see what we can do with the tee shot.
She's only hit half of her fairways today, 4 of 8. This one turning left and going to miss as well.
Boy, a very short backswing, a very quick transition up. Even though that type of swing, she doesn't swing the club all the way to parallel. That never got to a point where it was set.
Let's take another look, Judy.
Sets her hands early, but she changes directions very, very quickly, which doesn't show in a slow motion as it does in just regular speed. And it throws all the timing off.
Now ahead to 13. Stacey Lewis has a second shot here. A much more gettable hole location at 13 today. 6 steps from the left edge. And that's a mistake down in that bunker. It's a fairly deep bunker. It's the hardest hole in the golf course. Playing well over par for the week.
Suzanne Pedersen with a birdie putt here at the 12th hole.
And this is the position that I was talking about, Tom, that is incredibly tricky. If you're up on this back left level, putting down to the hole where it is today, it's incredibly fast. And really all that Suzanne needs to do is just breathe on this ball just to get it slowly moving to the top of that ridge, which is only about 2 foot in front of her. So you're essentially trying to hit a foot putt here for a putt that's the length of 30 foot.
Over to 14, which is very close to that 12th green. They could almost be double greens. This for a birdie. Lydia will not take advantage of this par 5. Still one more to come. That comes at the 18th hole, and that always makes for an exciting finish. And back over to that 12th green, and Christy Kerr with a putt for the birdie. This to get to 11 under par and tie Angela Stanford.
After taking full advantage of that slope to move the ball close to the hole. It's 7 foot left, and I believe it's going to move a little bit to the right, but maybe not quite as much as we saw Angela's up move. I've known Christy for quite some time now, and this length putt is right in her wheelhouse.
She putts as well as she ever did. She is just not as consistent with the good putting as she was for a time in her game.
You're not going to get too many really good opportunities with the standard of play that we have at the top of this leaderboard.
Yeah, that was really a great opportunity lost. Some difficult hole locations coming in, and you might not get a whole bunch of great looks.
Shall we and her group just waiting back in the fairway. Back up on the green. Suzanne Pedersen has a little bit of work left to do here, Karen, for her par.
Just a bit, only about 4 foot, but from where she was, I think she has to be fairly satisfied that she's just this far. I've seen players putt it off the green from that top level before. That was confidently done.
Started the day 3 shots back. She remains 3 back with Angela Stanford this time. Started the day 3 behind Michelle Wie. Of course, Wie is on the bogey train. 3 bogeys in a row, Jerry.
And staring at another one right here.
Left to right, mostly down.
Down with anything a little left to right, yeah.
Oh, great. Look at the mud ball she's got.
I think if it lands in between those 2 trees, it should get down there.
Yeah, sure.
The shot's 173. Duncan Teller downwind, pushing it a little right. The lie is below her feet, so that goes right. And her only direct line is to the right edge of the green. She'd have to turn this left with a 9-iron. That is really tough to do, especially with the mud. That came out low, and she hooked the heck out of it.
Needs to chase on a little more, otherwise she's going to have one of those tricky putts that Karen was talking about.
I think for all that could have gone wrong there, that's very acceptable.
Up to the 13th hole.
And see if Stacey Lewis can get up and down from this bunker. Short-sided, 6 steps of green to work with. Well, there's your answer. Made it look easy. Four birdies and 1 bogey for Stacey Lewis today.
So-Yeon Yu with her second at the 12th.
From 163 yards, going with a little 8-iron. Another hole location, as was the 10th earlier. That looks like the superintendent might have just missed the green. And you cannot miss it right. This on a very nice line, trying to catch that slope.
Beautiful shot. That is just what the people who cut that hole this morning had in mind.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be good.
So-Yeon Yu celebrating a birthday today. She's 24. 24. The amount of experience that she has already. Hard to believe she's only 24. She's a US Women's Open champion. Let's go to the 13th tee.
Angela just using a 3-wood off this hole for position.
Well, thank you, Ryan. And we have a thrilling final round in progress here at the Pinnacle Country Club. We had 72 players who had to finish their second rounds this morning, which means players are out in 3 balls, split tees. Show you some highlights from what has happened already. Michelle Wie had a 2-shot lead to start the day. Chella Choi started the day 3 back. She was 1 under for her round to this point. And how about this tee shot at the par 3 6th? Hole in 1. Ties the lead. Chella Choi trying to win for the first time in her career. What a moment for Chella Choi. Tom Abbott alongside Judy Rankin here. Michelle Wie struggling around the turn.
Yeah, she hit it off the tee at 9, very close to the left side. It is a dogleg left. She didn't have a great look, did not hit a good shot, and a bogey there to turn 1 over par.
And Michelle 8 pars to start her round. With that bogey at the 9th, dropped her back to 9 under par. Angela Stanford making a big move today. This to get to 11 under par, and that will be a 1-shot lead. 4 under for the day. Stanford trying to win this event for the first time. She lost a playoff here back in 2009. So here's how things stand. Stanford has that 1-shot advantage at the moment. Christy Kerr with 3 birdies on the front 9 is just 1 behind. Stacey Lewis. They love Stacey Lewis here in Rogers, Arkansas. She went to the University of Arkansas, which is just down the road in Fayetteville. She lived here after she graduated. They would love to see Stacey Lewis get the job done. She's only 2 back. She won here as an amateur in 2007, but it was a rain-shortened event, 18 holes, and it was an unofficial victory. Stacey wants an official win at the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. Michelle Wie followed on from that bogey at the 9th with 2 further bogeys at 10 and 11. So maybe, Judy, the gas tank is running a little light, having had all of the excitement of the U.S. Women's Open and what followed that.
Well, I think that's what we have to think. You know, Tita Green, she was pretty good in the beginning of this round, gave herself a lot of opportunities on the greens, but just didn't make much happen. And a couple of the misses have just been surprising misses. So I think you do have to a great degree, write that off to, you know, at least if you can be in a 2-week period, a little bit over-golfed.
Just a reminder, Jeff Sluman and Bernhard Langer getting ready for that playoff. We'll take you back to the Champions Tour when they are set to go. We'll stay here for just a little while and watch Michelle Wie on this 12th green. Jerry Foltz is out there watching.
This would be a fantastic 2-putt. It's uphill initially the first 10 feet, then goes over a cliff, downhill, turning immensely to the right.
Look at the amount of break she's giving that putt.
I believe that was 25 feet or so, Jerry.
Yeah, and it goes in, she gets a free game.
It should be a good 2-putt, trying to end that run of bogeys. So Angela Stanford with a 1-shot lead at the moment here in Rogers, Arkansas, but they're getting ready for that playoff on the Champions Tour. Jeff Sluman and Bernhard Langer going head to head. Chella Choi now for a birdie at the 12th hole, and Chella sort of needs to right the ship a bit, Jerry, if she's going to get the job done today.
She does. Just terrible pitch shots at 10 and 11 if she is going to lock up that first victory or have a chance to. She can't miss many makeable opportunities from this point forward. This is a beautiful opportunity here. A little quick and turning right.
Has to get it started outside the hole on the left.
Mm-hmm. And Judy, you know, every player wants to win so badly, but I don't think anybody's yearning for it as stronger than Chella's right now for that first victory.
Well, she has just played so many good rounds of golf and had the chances to win. And you look at that one that she made at the par 3-6. It's a fun story about she and her dad who's on the bag, but we'll get to that.
The wind's quartering a little bit and not to left. So.
Well, the way it's going to come off is going to hurt because it's going to.
Correct. Okay, how far are we getting this putt?
70.
Okay. All right, see the shot.
All right, in the 13th fairway, Angela Stanford and her caddy talking it over.
From 171 yards, wind is blowing quite stiffly now from the right.
And she hasn't missed a green in regulation today. She has been spot on. 4 birdies, no bogeys, flawless golf so far.
That was a little heavy, and it's going a bit right.
She had that club stuck underneath and a little bit thin. First green in regulation that she's missed. Christy Kerr back in the fairway, getting ready to go.
Playing live clean in place after all the rain that they've had here. Has chosen a very nice spot.
More hurt than we can feel.
Yep. Yep.
Like 5?
I do.
Even if it's playing low 70.
Yeah, 6 was not enough. That's you can hit that normal, mate.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So it's plenty. So right to left still. Give me a good target.
Purple?
Yeah, ideal. All right, trust that. That's perfect club.
Great words of advice from our caddy, Mark.
She's got 5-iron. There's a shirt up there that she's going to aim at. That guy right behind the green. I think the one with the white hat in the purple shirt, just right of the flag.
Huh?
He left.
All right, see the red shirt? Just right of that.
There's a branch on the tree.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, mate.
Sorry.
Do it all again. Trust your target.
I think you had the right guy, Kurt.
I don't know. She said he left. Now what do I aim at? All right. Local cameraman up there, right at the guy in the red shirt now with this 5-iron. Little uphill, little into the wind.
This one's going a little bit right, but should find the green.
No problem there. Christy Kerr's last win came at Kingsmill last year. Back to 12.
So Yeon Yu has this for a birdie.
Turning a little bit left, about a cup or so.
She's got it. Lost in a playoff last year to NB Park. Now moves to 8 under par within 3 of the lead. Let's go ahead to the par 3 15th.
And Lydia Ko has this putt for birdie. Yeah, nicely done. She pretty much had to make that and make a few more on the way in if she's going to have a shot at this. That gets her to 9 under par, 2 shots back.
Michelle Wee did make her par at the 12th. But right now, Angela Stanford is in the driving seat here at the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. Christy Kerr looking for her first victory since the Kingsmill Championship last year. There's Michelle Wee, 3 over par for this final day. Chella Choi has dropped back to 1 under. NB Park, defending champion, couple of holes to play. She's at 6 under. NB Park, defending champion, couple of holes to play. She's at 6 under.
Yeah, at the tee at 13, 413-yard par 4. So Yeon Yu is first to play.
Effectively plays a fair bit longer than that, Kurt. Second shot a little uphill, but you have to lay it back off the tee. 251 is the distance to where the creek starts on the right, very near the fairway. It's also the distance where the fairway pinches in immensely, so you got to lay back from that.
There's also a creek through the fairway. Most players laying back with 3 woods, hybrids, something like that. That's the tee down there on the lower right.
And you can hit it in the fairway here, like a number of holes, and still be blocked out on the right side. This is at the right center.
Looking that way a little bit. And let's see here, the angle. She might just be far enough down there so she doesn't have to deal with that tree you see on the corner of the dog leg. Almost a 90-degree right turn up there in the fairway. Chella Choi will be next.
Looks like 3 wood in her hands. Not an overpowering player, but as Judy mentioned, playing some very consistent golf. Not only this year, but last year as well, leading up to trying to get that first win. She's in her highest position ever on the money list so far this year. Chella is. Over $500,000 earned. Without a victory. 1 second place finish. That's in good shape there, Kurt.
Not even going to watch that one. Go for the tee. Well, it took a weird bounce up there. Meanwhile, up at the green, that's Angela Stanford's chip. Her 3rd shot. She won't be overly thrilled with that. That was pretty straightforward.
It really was an easy chip, and what I've seen a lot of this week is that when players are chipping from these Zoysia fairways, they do tend to check up quicker than normal.
Back at the tee, Michelle Wee.
Well, she got that one in the fairway.
That was a good look from behind. That ball didn't do anything but just fly straight.
That was about 8 feet high. That's higher than normal.
The stinger that she used so effectively last week when she won the Women's U.S. Open.
Jarena Pillar at the 14th. This is for a par to remain at 8 under. Costly on a par 5 for Jarena Pillar. She's another player that's trying to win for the first time in her career. She had a very good run at the CME Group Tour Championship at the end of last year. Had a putt to get in a playoff on the 72nd hole, but wasn't able to force a playoff. Shen Shen Feng was the champion that week in Naples. Angela Stanford with a 1-shot lead at the moment. Christy Kerr and Stacey Lewis looming right behind. And the 17th hole here, they're trying to make it the loudest hole on tour. And it's going to be pretty loud if Stacey Lewis is in the mix by the time she gets to that 17th tee. But watch out for Lydia Ko. She could sneak up there, Judy.
Yeah, she certainly can. And this is what Lydia Ko does best and what Stacey Lewis talked about this week. Both of these players seem to always be in it, and that is the way to enjoy the professional game.
Suzanne Petterson, 3 behind. Thanks, Ryan. Thank you. And we look at this first page of the leaderboard as it stands right now. 65 today from Julieta Granada, alongside Mina Lee with that clubhouse lead at 8 under, but towards the top of the first page, some heavy hitters. Stanford, Kerr, Lewis, Ko, and Petterson. So Yeon Yu, only even par for the final day. Michelle Wee, who had 3 bogeys in a row from the 9th, has managed to find the fairway at the 13th hole, but let's go out to the 13th.
And Christy Kerr has this for birdie.
Not a great deal in this one.
To tie for the lead. Oh. Another roll on that ball, and I think it would have went right in the middle.
So Christy Kerr is going to tap that in and remain 1 behind Angela Stanford here in Rogers, Arkansas.
All right, back at 13, Angela Stanford. This is for her par.
Still 9 foot left for Angela. Was a disappointing chip by her standards.
That's only her 4th bogey this week. So she's been pretty darn good, but a poor chip leads to a bogey there. It's wide open right now. 2 players at 10 under at the top of the leaderboard. A couple more players at 9 under.
14th hole, Stacey Lewis. Only 1 shot back. This is a par 5. This is her 3rd shot, Judy.
Yeah, and you don't want to say, you know, there's a must-do necessarily. It's the 14th hole, but it is a par 5, and I really believe in Stacey's mind, and most players would feel this way. You have got to take advantage here and give yourself a really good opportunity to make 4.
And if that just stays on the green, she's going to give herself an opportunity. Looked like it was going to be a better opportunity when it pitched up there.
It's an elevated green. Players don't, it's marginal whether they even see the surface of the green or not. It's a pretty good climb.
We'll go back to the 13th.
And down in the fairway, So Yeon Yu is ready to go.
The 187 remaining to the hole, Kurt. Looks like a hybrid of a slight uphill lie, breeze in as well. So I think she's got to catch every bit of this one.
This is a really technically sound swing.
Tempo's not too bad either.
Nope.
It's turning over just a bit.
Kind of bored through that wind just a little bit, but that's not bad. Well, Michelle Wee definitely needs to get something going, and if she's going to start, it needs to be right here.
And what is this? Not the most difficult hole on the course, I believe.
Yep.
Six iron here, 164. She will keep it low. She keeps everything low for that matter, except the driver occasionally. And just got in front of that one, not turning over enough, right side of the green.
Yeah, just not her best. The scoring average today is about a shot under par. By far the easiest day of the week. The scoring average yesterday was almost 2 shots over par.
Only 2 players on the course with a worse score today than Michelle Wee, and they're in last and second to last place.
Wow. Christy Kerr now on the tee at the 14th.
Using her 3-wood just to put it into position. No need to take driver on this hole today. You want to aim down at that bunker, which is what Christy's done.
See how soft the fairways are. We had a lot of rain yesterday afternoon. A big storm cell moved through, but in the renovations that they did here back in 2009, they put in quite an extensive irrigation system, and it's working really well. Back to 13.
And Chella Choi.
Exact same yardage as Michelle, 164 yards, but not going with iron here. This is a utility club of some loft. Pretty solidly struck on a decent line while turning left now.
Oh, just does hang on. Landed on the fringe. Not bad with that club in your hands.
This is Brittany Lincecum for an eagle at the 18th. She's 1 over on the day and not able to make the eagle on that closing hole, but it just shows that it is possible. We haven't had an eagle yet today. Only one for the whole week. And that was Jody Hewitt-Shadoff on the opening day. Brittany around in 71. That's par here. And she will finish at 3 under. Hasn't been the best of years for Brittany Lincecum, trying to find that form that has propelled her to being a multiple winner on this tour. Back to the tee at the 14th, and Angela Stanford.
Also going with the 3-wood here. And I think I could probably speak for most players that it's kind of frustrating at a par 5 you have to lay up and then lay up again.
Didn't look happy with that.
No.
Tough to see where that finish.
I think it, well, I'm not sure. I thought maybe it went in between bunkers, but we'll see.
Maybe some issues there for Angela Stanford. Well, thank you, Ryan. Christy Kerr and Angela Stanford now tied at the top. Stanford bogeying the 13th hole. She wasn't able to get up and down from just off the green. Stacey Lewis is only 1 behind now. Go out to the 14th hole. This is Mina Haragai. She is playing alongside Stacey Lewis. This is for a birdie to get within 1 shot of the lead. A player who has been on tour for a number of years but has not managed to break through with a victory.
You know, we had all the talk just last week about Lucy Lee and the 11-year-old who is such an accomplished player. Mina was at 12 years old the California Women's State Amateur Champion.
Michelle Wee is on the 13th hole, and you can see the scorecard for Michelle. She was very much in the hunt through 8 holes, but then it just suddenly started to go wrong for Wee. With 3 consecutive bogeys, she's managed to par the 12th, but needs to really turn things around. She finds herself 3 shots back. Certainly not an insurmountable difference. Stacey Lewis now at the 14th hole has this to get to 10 under par. This is to tie the lead.
Reasonably straight, uphill. That is the same way Lydia Ko missed a very similar putt.
Stacey finished tied for 4th here last year. She was tied for the lead going into the final round. There was so much talk about Stacey maybe getting the job done. This year she started the day 4 back. There wasn't too much chat about Stacey. It was all Michelle Wee talk coming into the final day here, but now Stacey Lewis is only 1 behind. Christy Kerr and Angela Stanford tied at the top here at the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. Out of the 16th hole, Lydia Ko for a birdie. This to get to 10 under and be tied at the top. Did she hit it? Oh, she's left it short.
Well, she is the young player that I think with the most tremendous touch on the LPGA Tour, and unlike her to leave it short.
Yeah, she's usually quite aggressive. Back over to 13.
Michelle Wee for a birdie.
And turning gently left, a little speedy, slightly downhill. On a good line. Just needed a little more pace, Kurt.
And that had to look pretty good, though, with about 4 or 5 feet to go.
Looked good the whole way until it just died across the hole.
Yeah, I watched her warm up. She came out, did her same routine that she always does. Started with her wedge game, working on wedge distances. She looked good, but she does look a little bit out of gas to me. And sometimes when you lose your energy, you start leaning forward too soon on your downswing. And that's kind of what it looks like to me, Judy. She's just kind of collapsing on it a little bit.
That happens also when you start down before you actually get it all the way back, doesn't it?
Yep.
Angela Stanford did finish in the bunker here at the 14th. She's just going to lay up, I think, Karen.
Yeah, she is. She's not taking any chances with that lip, although I think she could have potentially taken a bit more. She's going to leave herself a very, very long third now.
Kind of an odd reaction there for Stanford. Maybe.
I think she was just crossed it. She was in the bunker to start with. She's quite a fiery competitor.
She's kind of holding her shoulder or her. Yeah, interesting. We'll find out more about that maybe. Back to 13.
So Young Yu for her birdie.
A little uphill initially, and then about the last 8 feet it starts going downhill. Tough to judge the speed properly here.
And that had a little extra run out. She's going to have a little work coming back.
So Young came to the LPGA Tour, the U.S. Open champion, but in her first full year playing, she was 6th on the money list and the Rookie of the Year. So a really accomplished player.
Anna Nordqvist now has an eagle try at the 18th hole. Nordqvist just 1 over for the day. This is going to be an adventurous effort here, Judy.
This is a long putt. The hole is 30 paces from the front edge of the green, so a little over 90 feet.
That took, I would think, a lot of effort just to force yourself to hit it that hard.
And there's a couple little soft sort of tears in this green. They're very gentle, not distinct, but it makes it even harder.
Back to 13. So Young Yu for her par.
So you got the read as it rolled past. Really didn't do much. This one's slightly uphill. Same tempo like so many players, Kurt. Same tempo with the putting stroke as the full swing.
Yeah, no problem there. Right in the heart.
Inbee Park has given herself an eagle try at 18.
Well, there was a almost 90-foot backstroke and not enough. One thing you can do when you have these really, really long putts, or if you're putting from the fringe without making a great change, is just increase your grip pressure a little bit. It helps you to roll the ball just a little bit stronger.
And back over to the 14th hole, Angela Stanford in the fairway.
Yeah, 214, 134. Left for out, 134. Yeah.
You can hear her caddy Jeremy giving her a number to lay up, 134, 9 iron she's going to use. And it's because the front of the green is some 218 yards away.
So 2 layups for Stanford on the par 5. There you can see the water looming there short of the green. Angela not taking any chances, but there's still a chance to get up and down for the par. Back over at the 18th hole, Nordqvist trying to make her birdie. That's always the risk, I suppose, with a par 5. It's okay going for it in 2. But you leave yourself such a long putt.
But, you know, Anna was in a position to chip it if she chose to, and I'm not sure a little chip and run isn't a little easier to hit 100 feet uphill than putting.
So round of 72 for Anna Nordqvist. Thanks, Ryan. Angela Stanford still tied with Christy Kerr, but Stanford has had to lay up twice at the par 5 14th. She hit a tee shot in the bunker right, knocked it out of the bunker, then laid up again short of the water. So she is struggling for a par there, but over to 15, Stacey Lewis cut.
Yeah, with a 9-iron down that hill. Pretty well done. She's only a shot back. Had an incredible year. Every week she's in the hunt.
Inbee Park, who took this title last year in a playoff over So-Yeon Yu, has this for a birdie at 18. And that is a pretty good 2-putt for Inbee Park. She will be heading back home to Korea for 4 days to see her family. And then she's going to jet over to Manchester, England for the Ricoh Women's British Open, which is going to be held at Royal Birkdale.
You forgot fitting the wedding dress.
Of course, that's the most important part.
All right, that's Lydia Ko there at 17. 3 par 3s on the back 9. This is the last of those 3 par 3s. Big crowds around the 17th green.
So Angela Stanford, Christy Kerr tied at the top. Stacey Lewis with a birdie chance coming up at that par 3 15th. Angela Stanford has work to do to stay at 10 under here at the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. Now to the 14th hole. Third shot here for Christy Kerr, and Karen, not a good layup, laying it up in the rough.
No, that's a bit of a sin on this hole. If you're laying up on a par 5, you must make sure you hit the fairway. And she's found quite a difficult lie to. Ball is above her feet and it's downhill.
And of course, you don't have the advantage of lift, clean, and place if you're missing the fairway.
No.
Sit. Sit.
Nice for it to sit down. Still in a lot better shape than Stanford. And we'll go back to the tee at the par 5. And Michelle, we not able to go with the driver here, Jerry.
No, it's a 3-shot hole no matter what. Playing into the breeze now, and yeah, they used the front tee yesterday, and some players had to go at it, but not today.
Would you like to have seen the front tee used today, Judy?
Yes, I would have. I think a layup off the tee and then another layup isn't a particularly interesting hole.
The argument against that is that it tends to slow play down, and the officials want to get people moving on this final day, but he'd like to see some excitement, wouldn't he? Angela Stanford now with a 4th.
Yeah, one up. So lift a little in, you got to backstop with a slope there, that'll spin it back to the hole. 96 hole. Okay, with that going 30. If you're not sure, you can hit a 100-yard shot and it'll land at the base of the slope and into the hole. Okay?
If I could just chime in on that conversation you guys have just had, I'm always of the opinion that 4 shots takes less time than 5 or 6.
Good point.
This one's drifting a bit right.
They're going to come back nicely, though.
Give her a good opportunity, though, to save that par.
That would be a great 5 for Stanford. Well, Karen, you're on the board of the LPGA Tour, so you can make these things happen, you know.
I wish I had that kind of power, Tom.
We'll go across the road to the 15th green.
From high above, good look at the 15th green, and Stacey Lewis has another birdie putt. Just looking at her performances this year. Oh, what a putt. Here she comes again. 8 top 5 finishes this year that include 2 wins already. She's never out of the hunt. Tied at the top again this week. 3 holes to play for her.
How much do you think that helped her coming in a little out of the radar because of Michelle Wie leading going into the final day?
I think she takes everything as a little bit of a chip on her shoulder kind of thing. Like, you know what? I got to show everybody I'm still top dog out here. And Lydia Ko for her birdie, the 17-year-old. Wow, some good action out there right now.
For the moment, that takes 4 players to 10 under.
The 17-year-old looking for her 4th win. She just turned 17 back in April, the end of April. Yeah, at 15, this is Mina Harrigai for her birdie. She's not out of it either.
Phenomenal year for the LPGA. Michelle Wie looked like she was going to get it done today, but instead of Michelle Wie, you've now got Lydia Ko, Stacey Lewis, Christy Kerr, and Angela Stanford all tied for the lead. Great storylines being produced here. Mina Harrigai would love to get in the mix. She was on the Curtis Cup back in 2008. This is her 5th year on the LPGA Tour. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Rogers, Arkansas, it's final round coverage of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G. We're just 7 miles from the town square in Bentonville, where Sam Walton opened his first store. He would open his first Walmart here in Rogers in 1962. Now the town is proud to host the LPGA Tour. We're at the Pinnacle Country Club, a private gated community which opens its doors to thousands of fans 1 week a year for what has become one of the most popular stops on tour. Tom Abbott alongside Judy Rankin. Let's take you through some highlights. This just happening at the 15th hole. Stacey Lewis with a chance to tie the lead, get to 10 under par, and she does it.
Putt she really needed to have right now. It's a short par 3, 15.
And then, literally right after that, Lydia Ko to join the group at 10 under.
Another par 3, and just listen.
They're trying to make this 17th hole the loudest hole on tour. I think they've done it, and it's going to get even louder when Stacey Lewis heads that way in just a little while. Lewis, Ko, Christy Kerr, Angela Stanford also in that group at 10 under par. What an exciting finish in store for the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. Michelle Wie started the day with a 2-shot lead over So-Yeon Yu, but unfortunately we made 3 bogeys in a row from the 9th, and she has dropped back to 7 under par. She's not out of it yet, but she needs a really good finish if she's going to win back-to-back events on the LPGA Tour, having won at Pinehurst 7 days ago. We've heard from myself, Tom Abbott, alongside Judy Rankin. Our whole announcer is Kurt Byram. Jerry Foltz has joined that Stacey Lewis group. She's alongside Miki-Yang Lee and Mina Harrigai. Karen Stupples is with Christy Kerr, Angela Stanford, and Suzanne Pedersen. Let's go out to the 14th hole. An important putt for Angela Stanford. This to save par, remain tied for the lead.
Not an easy putt. Downhill, moving to the left.
Yeah, and she missed it. Well, it all came down to that tee shot, Karen. She put herself in the bunker and was really behind the 8 ball. Now live with Chella Choi at the 14th. That's her 3rd shot. And lucky that stayed up.
We have seen shot after shot that just needed to carry another 12 feet.
Chella Choi started the day 3 behind. She was 1 under for the day, 2 back of the lead when she got to the 6th tee. Just take a look at this.
166, a 6 iron, and the signature orange golf ball.
And the 2nd hole-in-one of her competitive career. That ace couldn't come at a better time. It tied her for the lead at 10 under, but she hasn't been able to maintain the momentum. Still a moment to remember for Chella Choi. And Michelle needs a really good finish, much like Michelle Wie. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our coverage here in Northwest Arkansas, and what a finish we have in store. This event, over its 7-year history, has been decided by one shot at the most. And we've had 3 playoffs, and it looks like it's going to be that way again.
Well, it's hard to believe at this moment that there won't be a playoff. There are just so many players who are tied for the lead or right there knocking on the door. And this golf course finishes with a par 5. So look for the fireworks at the end. And I just have to bet it's going to be more than one player. -12 was a playoff last year.
-12 has been the winning score the last 3 years. Could well be again if the way things continue to go the way they've been. But you look at that 18th hole, they've moved the tee up. It's 480 yards, and we've seen a lot of players reach it in 2, which makes it even more exciting.
Yeah, it does. And I don't think you have to be the longest in the field to have the ability to get there. Although, you know, having a little extra length, and one of the players up there that has that extra length is Christy Kerr. We don't always talk about her as one of the bombers, but she will be able to get there in 2 if she can put the ball in the fairway.
Well, the action really moving towards the hole that's right behind us, that Island Green 15th, and up at the tee, it's Christy Kerr.
She has 136 yards to this hole, but it plays 11 yards downhill. The wind is slightly helping.
Even though that hole location is tucked over that bunker with a short club in your hands, it's still a hole location you can go after.
You really should go after it too. It should be green light all the way. Just like that.
Christy Kerr, one of those players tied at the top at 10 under par. Go back 1.
3rd shot at the par 5 14th now for Michelle Wie. Has to make birdie here, Judy.
She has to make birdie here, and that's a good picture of the elevation of this 14th green.
And how about an eagle?
Easy, easy. That's the way to play the shot. It just appears that you just have to fly it beyond the hole because it's going to spin a little bit.
Back to 15.
Suzanne Pedersen will be next to play.
One of the advantages of not having the honour is that you are actually able to watch your playing partner's ball flight and how it flew with the wind. Suzanne is going with a pitching wedge here.
One under today. 2 shots back right now.
Leads the tour in greens in regulation, so I fully expect this to be a good one.
Well, she has really tightened up this swing over the last couple of years, not unlike what Michelle Wie is doing, and they are both taught by David Ledbetter.
And great.
Oh, right is right. It almost flew it in the hole.
Sixteenth hole. Mina Haragai now with her 2nd.
I'm sorry, Tom. This from 146 yards. Breeze is going to blow it a little left. Pretty much a clean line just to the flag, not to the center of the green. That sounded just a hair heavy and turning left.
Second shot of the 18th hole for Lydia Ko. Not able to get to the green in 2, but that isn't always an advantage, as we have seen from some players moving through this 18th today.
Yeah, I'm not sure that isn't just as good as being just 2 or 3 feet short.
Lydia Ko tied at the top, trying to set the target in the clubhouse. Back to the 16th, and the second shot for Stacey Lewis.
141, little 8-iron. Oh, she took a lot off that nice solid shot, turning in a little bit to the left.
Yeah, good birdie chance coming up for Lewis.
she has learned to turn it on at the end of a round on Sunday.
Is she going to do it again today? It looks that way. Lewis tied at the top.
Hello, I'm Giselle Reese, Chief Operating Officer for Walmart US. On behalf of Walmart and our more than 2 million associates around the world, I want to thank you for watching the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G. We hope you enjoy the action as the very best women golfers in the world compete on the LPGA Tour and here at our beautiful Pinnacle Country Club in Rogers, Arkansas. We're all so proud to show you a bit of the place that we call home. Northwest Arkansas is a family-friendly community that embraces the concept of giving back and celebrates an entrepreneurial spirit that has created some of the largest and most successful companies in the world. We invite you to come out and see us sometime. We'd like to thank the hundreds of volunteers, our sponsors, and the tournament staff who make this wonderful event possible. And of course, the fans, and especially the players who make it so exciting. Enjoy the tournament.
A special thanks to Walmart and also Andy Bush and Harry Hardy. Now to the 15th.
And Christy Kerr for her birdie.
Nice positive stroke there.
No doubt about that one.
So used to seeing her hit putts with such force and aggression that they normally hit the back of the hole, but earlier on today some of her putts were just kind of dribbling up to the front edge, so it was good to see that one go in with some speed.
Kerr goes to 11 under par.
So Christy Kerr now with a one-shot lead, but Stacey Lewis has a chance to tie the lead here at the 16th. And she's got it. This is the one she really wants to win. She says that she feels more pressure here than the majors because of her association with this area. Having gone to school at Arkansas, she lived here for a little while after she graduated.
Graduated from the University of Arkansas in '08 with a finance and accounting degree, and that was the right degree for her, the way things are going, Tom.
Yes, she needs some pretty heavy-duty accountancy to count all that money she's earning. Out to the 18th, and Lydia Ko with the third shot.
Well, you get a good picture of what she sees. It is hard to fly that ball all the way back there.
She certainly did that.
Wow.
Off the backboard for Lydia Ko. And she battled with Stacey Lewis at the Swinging Skirts in San Francisco earlier this year. She ended up beating Stacey by one shot. And it was only 3 days after her 17th birthday.
Played here last year as an amateur and tied for fourth, so a spot she likes.
Michelle Wee for a birdie at 14. Hasn't been her day. Such high hopes coming into Sunday for Michelle. Unfortunately, have evaporated today.
Now at 15, Suzanne Pedersen for her birdie. No problem there. Excellent tee shot. That pitching wedge never left the flagstick. Ahead to the tee at 17, Stacey Lewis.
It should fall right over there. Yeah. Just solid one?
Yeah, solid.
Quite a setting here, Kurt, for the hometown favorite, if you will. 149 to the hole, 142 to get to the green, in line with today's hole location. Going with the same club sheet on the last hole. This will be a little more full.
Be right. Oh, yeah. Be right.
Trying to slide it in from the left. It's turning a little bit.
A little pumped up. That 8-iron flew a little bit past the hole, but a good tee shot. Don't want to mess with that bunker in line with the flagstick. The way she's putting, no doubt will give that one a run. Now, back at 15. So Young Yu. It's her birthday today. 24 years old. That's almost the second hole-in-one we've seen today.
She is really a nice young woman, very cooperative, does anything and everything you need.
And that was a moment ago. And now Chella Choi, I mentioned that hole-in-one. She made that hole-in-one at the 6th hole with a 6-iron. Yeah, only a 9-iron here at 15. Gave that one a rip. Well, it hasn't been Michelle Wie's day, Judy. You know, it happens to everyone, doesn't it? Even people that are at the top of their game, no matter what tour you're on.
Well, I think when a little air went out of the balloon, she probably realized how mentally and physically tired she was.
Okay, good tee shot.
Let's take a look at the trouble that Michelle Wie has had today. This was at the opening hole for a birdie. Wonderful opportunity, but couldn't convert.
Yeah, short par 4 and one she really needed to take advantage of. A little too tight to the left side off the tee at the dogleg left at 9. Missed the green, and that was a bogey to turn it 1 over par.
She also had bogey 10, had some trouble in the bunkers at 10. This was at 11 for par. And that really was the end of her challenge. And out to the 18th hole, and what could be a crucial putt for Lydia Ko.
Maybe a little tricky putt to read. It might want to tail off to her left, but mostly she just has to touch it.
She needed to make it, and she did. 3 birdies in the last 4 holes for Lydia Ko, who continues to impress. 17 years of age, her 27th professional start. She's never missed a cut. She won in April and has a chance to win again. Stacey Lewis up at the 17th. It's getting really loud for Stacey Lewis. Think how loud it's going to be if she makes a birdie. Sixteenth hole, second shot for Angela Stanford.
From 143 yards, drawing this one in nicely to the hole.
Yeah, shot.
It comes at a good time for Stanford. She needs to try and claw her way back to the top. She did have a 1-shot lead during this final round. Back to 15.
And Michelle Wie has this for birdie. This putt actually moves a little bit to her right at the end. Cannot get one to go. Too much speed, couldn't take the break. Let's go back to 17 and see what's going on with Stacey Lewis. Jerry Foltz is down there.
Well, Kurt, that was the loudest thing outside of Solheim Cup I've ever heard walking to the green when Stacey was approaching. She makes this. I'm not sure my ears can handle it. Little downhill. From behind the ball, I have it turning left. From the other side of the hole, I didn't see it.
Look at that final round scoring average. Wow. It fooled her a little bit, both the speed and the break. She still has the par 5 18th to play. She's tied for the lead at 11 under par right now. Lydia Ko is in at 11 under. She's yet to birdie the par 5 18th, but with the tees forward, she should be able to come close to getting it home in 2.
It's just what, Gus? Yeah.
I don't think I need it. I really don't.
No. Well, take. I don't either. Take some of the off the 8. 40 flag, even if it carries.
You were thinking this at first, right?
Well, only the second after Suzanne hit. The normal 9's flying 36 at the moment when you get it good. There's just not enough there. Just grip the 8 and grip the 8. Normal shot, and we'll finish 10 feet right of it, okay?
Perfect. Yeah.
All right, so starting target?
Legs?
Yeah. All right, mate. So you shot.
At 16 with Christy Kerr.
Good?
Yeah.
And there's really not much more I can add to that. Mark providing the commentary for us. This one drawing into the hole too.
Chew.
Well, the ball is listening to Christy Kerr. It knows what's good for it. And Christy has a good chance for a birdie to break out of that tie at the top.
That was just a moment ago at 17. Stacey Lewis making all of her Razorback fans happy. 3 tied at the top of the leaderboard. Hard to say what's going to happen here. Stacey Lewis headed to the par 5 finishing hole. Christy Kerr in good shape over on 16. She's got another birdie putt over there. Good stuff, Judy.
Yeah, and Michelle Wee, 3 over par for the day. She has had a spectacular 2014 season. The worst round she has shot in 2014 is 73.
16th tee, this is Michelle Wee. Hole playing 390 yards, dogleg from left to right. We'll go up to the 18th tee with Stacey Lewis.
Tee moved up 45 yards today. Fairway bunker not an issue at all, under 200 yards to carry it, and I think that's the line because the hole bends gently left. Breeze from the left though, so ideally hit her little custom draw a bit.
Great shot.
That looks pretty good there, drifting perhaps to the right side.
262 yards off the tee is her average this season. She is 16th on the tour. That ball didn't move 2 feet when it hit the ground.
Christy Kerr on the green at the 16th hole.
And her and her caddy Mark have been studying this one. It's a putt of 9 foot, but she signaled to Mark that she had it. She tapped her chest and said, "I've got this." So she must be feeling quite confident over it. We'll certainly know by the type of roll she puts on it. Today, the confident strokes, they've gone into the hole somewhat forcefully. And the not so confident strokes, they've just been dribbling around the hole. So we'll soon know what she's feeling once she's hit this putt.
Just for a 1-shot lead. Wow.
That was a little tentative.
There was no early walk on that one, Karen.
No, it was a good opportunity gone by.
Christy trying to win her first event as a mother. She became a mother at the latter part of 2013. Stacey Lewis waiting on the tee at the 18th hole, and that brings us to our Kia Performance Awards segment. It takes us back to the ShopRite LPGA Classic, where Stacey Lewis reeled off 33 consecutive holes without a bogey on her way to a 3-round total of 16 under par, just 1 shot shy of the tournament record. Her second 6-shot win in 4 weeks propelled Lewis to the #1 spot in the Rolex Women's World Rankings, and has been named the Kia Most Compelling Performance for the month of May. The 2014 Kia Most Compelling Performance Award winner will be announced at the season-ending CME Group Tour Championship following an online fan vote, and the winner will receive a 2015 Kia K900. Here are the Rolex Women's World Rankings. Stacey Lewis at the top. Took over that top spot at the beginning of June. Inbee Park had been there for 59 weeks. Michelle Wee with the victory at the US Women's Open, now up to 7th.
And I'm still amazed at the 17-year-old who sits 3rd in the world.
Just a moment to go at the 16th. Angela Stanford for a birdie. And Angela Stanford only 1 behind. Had a chance to win in Hawaii. She started the final round in Hawaii with a 4-shot lead, but of course Michelle Wee managed to get the job done back in April. Now back in the fairway at the 16th, So Yeon Yu. And that's a good one from you. So Yeon has put together a good back 9, just 3 under par. Before the back 9 had the double bogey at the 6th, which really halted her chances. Michelle Wee, of course, had those 3 consecutive bogeys from the 9th. Michelle back on 7 under par. Michelle needs a birdie eagle finish if she is to have any chance, and it's a pretty slim chance even if she were to finish 4 under over the last 4. And we'll go ahead to the 17th.
And Angela Stanford getting ready to play.
Much discussion going on here, Kurt.
Really good look from behind. It's 149 to the hole, but it plays about 3 or 4 yards uphill. Then you've got to figure out what that wind's doing, and with these stands around the 17th green, sometimes it's hard to pick it up.
A little bit, yes. I also think that to most people's eye, this looks like a fade all the way with that hole location on the right, and there is a slope to the left of the hole that you could even funnel it in off, but Angela likes to play a draw, so it may be not as comfortable to her as some of the other players out here, which is probably why the extra discussion.
That bunker you see up there, right in line with the flagstick, that's 142 is the actual number to get it over that bunker. Probably playing more like 145.
I'm thinking she's going to try to let this ball just fall off to the right, teeing the ball near the right side of the tee box.
Yeah, pretty nicely done. Distance control was spot on.
Playing more golf has never been easier. Grab your phone, access the Golf Now app, and make your tee time today. You'll get to choose from some of the most unique courses from around the world. Go to golfnow.com/mobile to download it today. Golf Now.
Go play.
That was bad timing.
Oh, I just had a little sip of water.
That is perfect. You go. Don't do that. Right. Yep.
All right, now Christy Kerr.
Christy's going to use an 8-iron here.
Yes.
tied for the lead with Lewis and Co. right now.
Yeah, you could see that a little bit. She had a kind of a
24 front, 50 flat, 45 to carry at the low. Right? Zoning.
It looked like she had a little stutter step as she got into the ball.
Yeah, this is not a time to have any doubt.
No.
Clear your mind, pick your target, and commit.
She and Mark don't waste any time, but they do talk a lot.
There is much discussion. This one just left of the hole.
She looked down like she maybe didn't hit it as well as she would have liked, but it turned out okay. She's actually had good luck on the par 3s this week. She's 6 under on the par 3s this week.
Second shot of the 18th hole for Stacey Lewis, and looks like she's laying up, Jerry.
Huge surprise there. Only 214 to the front, 244 all the way back, but obviously wasn't comfortable with the downhill wet lie.
Interesting. We'll talk more about that when we come back to the final round of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. Who will get their hands on this trophy? Back at the 16th hole, Michelle Wie for a birdie. Has to go in if she's going to have any chance, and that's not going to go in.
She just did not read that well at all. The speed wasn't right. I don't think a lack of effort, but a lack of getting it correct.
Stacey Lewis has laid up at the 18th hole. In that back hole location, you saw Lydia Ko pitch the ball about 5 yards off the back of the edge and still make a birdie.
Yeah, you have big issues here with the ball spinning way back short of the hole. If you're going to take it, you know, considerably beyond the hole, you have to maybe use the hillside in the back. What do you think, Jerry?
Yeah, if it's a shot, you have to control the distance and the spin, and to magnify the difficulty, you can't see what you're aiming at, basically, just the top of the flagstick. But anything lands short with any spin, it's going to be a 30-footer. If it lands long with a little spin, it could get close, a little long and left.
For
it's 103 yards, Judy, and it plays 5 yards uphill.
Yeah, just for your information, because you didn't see it, Lydia Ko flew it about 3 or 4 yards beyond the green and brought it back to within 5 feet.
Not sure that was intentional, but it worked. This is looking just a little deep.
And it's going to come back flag high.
Beautiful.
Stacey Lewis has a great chance for birdie at the 54th and final hole. She made the decision to lay up. Maybe it was the right one.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Having for years watched the old Southwest Conference, I can tell you that that is calling the hogs and Suey Pig.
And it never gets old here for Stacey Lewis, wherever she goes. To 16, So-Yeon Yu for a birdie. And So-Yeon Yu moves to 10 under par. She is within one of the lead, quickly to 17.
Yeah, and Christy Kerr for birdie.
And it's really hard not to hear all the cheering going on the 18th hole. This putt's going to move to her right.
Oh man, known as one of the most aggressive putters on the LPGA Tour, and she's hit a couple of tentative putts here in the last couple holes.
It's very unlike Christy, to be honest.
That thing was tracking too. It was going to go in if it got there.
Take a quick look at our course setup, brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. I know this is a golf course you find quite appealing aesthetically, Judy.
I love this golf course as a members course, and I think it plays well with this tournament. It's a really pleasant golf course, a lot of variety, bent grass greens. You see zoysia grass fairways. Greens can't be a lot faster than 11.5 given all the rain that has been here this week, and probably pretty close to 3 inches.
And full credit to Chase and his team working on the ground staff here, getting it in tip-top shape.
All right, now Stanford at 17. Karen, what's this putt going to do?
This one's going to also move slightly to her right. It's got 10 foot.
Come on, Angela, go!
Oh my gosh, as it ran out of speed, it almost wavered the other way.
Seemed like it turned left. That's
I think
what
she
she's
was
saying.
right on a spine almost, where it could have gone either way.
Superb effort, man.
Very good. Stanford's at 10 under par. She's going to need a birdie on that last hole, but Stacy Lewis still has a chance to birdie that last hole. Back at the tee, So-Yeon Yu. She's got 8 iron out, coming off the big birdie at 16. Judy, she's really impressive.
I like her game. I like her very much. And one thing, Kurt, when I've been out on the golf course and watching her, she doesn't curve the ball much. When she's hitting the ball well, she just flat hits the ball straight.
She's very on plane, strikes it very solidly. All right. See the guy up there behind the flagstick? That's why she had to back off.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, when that one lone person is moving behind your target.
So-Yeon Yu actually coming off of birdies at 15 and 16. She's 4 under on this back 9. She's putting on quite the rally. Now, if that person will just take a seat up there, she'll be ready to go.
If there's a tendency for So-Yeon, it is that once in a while she just kind of wears herself out because she's so serious about her game.
Yeah, she's going to have pretty much the same putt that Christy Kerr just had.
One of the greatest accomplishments in the game is to card a round of 59. Rich Lerner sits down with some of the players who have shot that magical number. Golf Channel presents Legendary Conversation tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern on Golf Channel. There a guy finishing up with a par.
May have her best finish of the season. It certainly looks that way. She's made a lot of checks, but only one top 10 finish this year.
Right now tied for 7th. Her career best finish was tied for 5th at the 2013 Sunrise Taiwan Championship. Stacy now eyeing the birdie putt, the all-important birdie putt, which would give her a 1-shot lead.
And she knows exactly where she stands. She was staring straight at the leaderboard when it flashed up that Christy Kerr was through 17, tied with her. Not the easiest 7-8 footer you've ever had, though. This one sliding away from her, definitely outside of the hole.
And she's got it. Will that be the win that she wants so much? 66-65 over the weekend for Lewis.
Birdie 3 of the last 4.
And now she has to sit and wait and find out whether Stanford and Kerr will match or beat her. Look at those folks in the grandstand.
Pretty hard putt and only perfect.
It's hard to describe how popular Stacey Lewis is here. Prior to the tournament, she had a phone call from the club. They said, we're going to print up T-shirts saying, I love Stacey. Is that okay? She said, yeah, that's fine.
They sold out.
They sold out. Back on the tee, Christy Kerr.
Christy's birdied this hole twice already this week. Would dearly love to do it again right now. And that's first step in the process underway, down the fairway.
Christy Kerr needs a birdie. The 18th could yield an eagle. So Christy Kerr, birdie to tie, eagle to win. We'll be back in just a moment. Angela Stanford needs an eagle at the 18th, but she's laying up.
Just a little bit more than she has.
Stanford will need to hole out. Stacey Lewis has signed her card, just signing a few autographs.
Are they standing on them? Okay. We're all good, right?
You're good?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
17.
And So Young Yu for her birdie. This would pull her within a shot. And they're misreading the speed. That was tracking as well, exactly what Christy Kerr did.
What about 3 at the shadow?
145 further.
7.
Yes. So all that wind's going to do is just going to be a little left to right, but with the downslope, I think that's going to counteract. Okay?
The tree?
That is perfect.
The big tree?
You go. I can see your target.
Christy's also laying up. I believe it's just off this downhill lie. Again, making her feel a little bit uncomfortable. No problem there with her layup.
An eagle for Christy Kerr would have given her the outright win, so now she'll be looking at birdie and a playoff, unless of course she can hole out. Back to 17.
And Michelle Wee. What do you know? Been a tough day. No doubt disappointing for her, but she's handling it pretty well.
The Rolex Arnica Major Award was established to recognize the player who, during a current LPGA Tour season, has the most outstanding record in all 5 major championships. In order to be eligible, you have to win at least 1 major championship, so only 2 players in the running right now, and Michelle Wee has 84 points, Lexi Thompson 66 points, 3 majors remaining. The next event on the schedule is a major, the Ricoh Women's British Open, in 2 weeks' time. 65, the low round of the week. Both Lewis and Coe around in 65. This was Stacey walking off the green. Lydia Coe congratulating her.
That may have very well been Shauna Estes Taylor, who is the women's golf coach at Arkansas and a very, very close friend of Stacey's.
was the first day.
While we have a moment, let's see who's up to the challenge presented by Prudential. And it is, of course, Stacey Lewis. I'll show you some highlights from Stacey's day. Starting at the 11th, she was out at 34, parred the 10th. This to get to 9 under. And this at the 15th hole. Really putting her in the mix. And then the all-important birdie at 18. 3 birdies in the last 4 holes for Stacey Lewis, a 65, 12 under par. She leads by 1, and she is up to the challenge presented by Prudential. And Suzanne Pedersen playing in the group alongside Stanford and Kerr. This is her 3rd shot to that closing hole.
Has 110 yards.
Stacey Lewis is waiting in the clubhouse, we understand. She may well be watching on television.
Stacey made the birdie look easy, so did Lydia Ko, but I don't think it's an easy birdie with this whole location.
And it's quite tricky with the wind, Judy, because it should be into the wind, but the way the stands are and the trees behind the green, you're going to be somewhat sheltered from that wind.
So breeze in your face is part of that decision not to go at the green right now.
Stanford will be next to play. Stanford is 2 back. She has to hold this shot in order to have a chance of winning.
And she knows that too, Tom, because as we were walking down after she had hit her layup, she asked me what was going on. So when she did her layup, she didn't have any idea that she needed to make eagle, but now she does. Looking on a good line.
Not going to be good enough to yield Stanford a victory, but it's still going to be a good week.
Angela's mom, Nan, is here this week, and they're very close. Angela helped her through her ordeal with breast cancer, and it took her away from playing for a little while.
Is going to put the spin on it and it won't stay there. 100 yards, 98 flag, 100 is your number, okay?
So it's 99 yards.
Yeah. 104 behind it. Now it's made at 105 behind it. Stock standard 100 yards a day.
Straight out of it.
You got it, girl. Alright, see you, shot. Yep.
Christy knows exactly what she's got to do. I like that 104 number that Mark gave her to the back of the green. Hit it there, let it spin back. She should get spin on this. When you've placed it on a perfect lie with the lift being in place, you tend to get a lot more spin.
She knew it right away.
Came back.
And that's going to make the task even more difficult. Christy Kerr has to hold that putt, force a playoff, but Stacey Lewis will see if she can do it when we come back.
Angela Stanford, Suzanne Pedersen, and Christy Kerr.
they're coming to us in 20 seconds.
Back on the final green, Stacey Lewis is at the top of the leaderboard, and she is very popular in these parts. Not only the I Love Stacey t-shirts, but the cutouts of her face. That little fella needs to get that one signed.
I bet he can this afternoon.
Christy Kerr has to make this putt to force a playoff.
It's not the easiest of putts. It's uphill. 20 foot will break to her left, so she's not only going to have to judge the speed going up the hill, but she's going to have to make sure that she gets that married up with the break. But why not go for it?
Disappointment for Christy Kerr, not able to get the ball to the hole when she needed it so much. That is going to be a 5, and she will post at 11 under par, 1 shot back of Stacey Lewis. But Stacey can't pop the champagne just yet, because So Yeon Yu is at 10 under par, and if she makes an eagle here, she will force a playoff. Good final round for Christy Kerr. 1 back. And she will take a lot of confidence to Royal Birkdale.
She has been playing really quite well all year. She's had a few issues with closing the deal, a few issues with the putter now and then, but I just haven't seen her strike the ball poorly all year.
It just came down to 1 shot for Christy Kerr. Frustrating. It's been over a year since her last win on the LPGA, the Kingsmill Championship. Suzanne Pedersen now to finish it off.
And really, this is the first time back in contention since having back issues earlier on. So even though she's going to be somewhat disappointed, she has to be encouraged moving forward to the Women's British Open in a couple of weeks.
It's going to be a top 10 finish for Pedersen. She's going to head over to the UK, head to London for a few days before the Women's British Open, maybe take in some tennis at Wimbledon. That should be a lot of fun. And then she'll head up about 4.5 hours up to Royal Birkdale.
You know, something that we have failed to mention is the defender in the Women's British Open. Even though we will not be at St Andrews, we are moving on to Birkdale, is Stacey Lewis.
A birdie finish to close it off on the old course. Angela Stanford to finish up with a birdie. Nicely done. Likely to finish tied for second. That's a second runner-up finish of the year. And a nice memento for somebody in the crowd, although looks like they're going to split it there. So Yeon Yu made a birdie on the final hole of this event last year to force a playoff with GA with Inby Park, which she ended up losing. Now she needs to make eagle to force a playoff with Stacey Lewis. Chasing it up there, up the left side, and she will need to hole out.
I think I'd rather try to hole out from there than down below, though.
See, So Yeon Yu can do it. Stacey Lewis just waiting in the clubhouse, waiting, watching. Maybe very close to her first official win here in Rogers, Arkansas. Back at the 18th hole, this is just a moment to go. Third shot from Michelle Wee.
That was her good rhythm. Let's see what shot it produces.
Pretty good. Now, live with Chella Choi and her third shot. Well, things were looking so good earlier in the day. That hole-in-one to tie the lead at the 6th. I thought it might be the day that Chella Choi breaks through for her first victory. But it isn't to be. She might just hold out with her third shot at 18, though. Gonna have that to post at 9 under par to be a tied 6th finish. Shot of the day presented by Volvic does belong to Chella Choi, and that hole-in-one, the ace at the 6th hole.
Even more special with the orange golf ball.
A second career hole-in-one. Her father on the bag. We've told that story a number of times. Her father who wants to retire, but Chella wants him on the bag for her first victory.
It is one of the great ever father-daughter relationships in golf.
The Volvic shot of the day. Stacey Lewis peering out of the window down at the 18th hole. From that angle, she won't be able to see So-Yeon Yu's shot, but this is what she faces. Has to hole it. What does she face here, Karen?
It's actually, the ball is sitting up really well, so she's got to really struggle not to catch this high on the face. The ball is above her feet. She cannot see the bottom of the hole. She's going to have to go over the tier, land it on the top tier and get it to the hole that way. Or she could use the backstop and try and bring it in from the back door. A couple of options, really. She really has to stick to her guns and make a decision. Looks like she's got the blade open and is going high. She just caught the top of the face. The ball was sitting up almost too well.
And Stacey Lewis is the champion of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. And there it is. It's official.
Wow, third time.
And the LPGA's incredible 2014 season just gets better and better. Chella Choi has tapped in for the birdie. Sometimes, Judy, we see players have such high emotions, like making the hole-in-one, and it doesn't always help them right afterwards.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, that was a big boost at the time that it happened on the 6th hole today for Chella. And she was tied for the lead there, I don't know, briefly, but for 2 or 3 holes anyway. But it was a roller coaster kind of day. She was up, she was down. She's a magnificently consistent player. She makes a lot of money out here. And I can't believe that that first win isn't, you know, in the near future.
So-Yeon Yu with the long birdie putt coming up the tier on the 18th green, Karen.
Yeah, it's not an easy one, and you know what, I think at some point you have to fight the disappointment that you didn't make the shot, but you know, she's got to be proud. This is her second time in a row that she's going to be right up there, and you know, if she makes this would be a tied for second twice. It's a good 40 foot, and it's going to be very slow, and we'll move to her right.
No one has been getting it to the hole, Karen.
No, and I think the greens have been slightly slower today too.
Well, that was some kind of storm we had in the late afternoon yesterday.
You're not kidding.
As it halted play, 72 players did have to return to complete their rounds this morning, among them Angela Stanford and Christy Kerr. So Yeon-Yu not able to get it to the hole. Michelle Wee placing her ball down on the green to try and finish up, and Michelle Wee will be heading to Royal Birkdale in a couple of weeks, where she finished tied for third in 2005. The last time it was played at Royal Birkdale was 2010. She finished tied 17th. Yanni Sen was the champion there 4 years ago.
I'll tell you something, Tom. Even if you take out of the equation her win last week and everything that she's done this year on tour, I would have still had Michelle Wee slated as a top performer for Birkdale, just because of how she flights her ball and how low she hits it. And if you get any wind around there, you know how important it is to keep the ball down.
Well, they like a bet, don't they, in that part of the world? And I think the bookies are going to struggle to pick a favourite between Wee and Lewis heading into the British Open. Wee not able to close with a birdie. It's going to be a disappointing Sunday for Michelle, who started the day with that 2-shot lead. It's going to be a round of 73.
And still, what a season. That is the worst number this player has shot since the beginning of the year.
Incredible.
Yep.
It's going to be a top 10. Michelle, who was all over the place in terms of media at the beginning of the week. I mean, it was so busy.
I think it was all to her credit that she kept her commitment, showed up here.
10th top 10 of the year for Michelle Wee. She's never had more than that in a single season. So best year of her career looking at the results. So Yeon-Yu to finish up. Another good week in Arkansas for So Yeon-Yu, but not quite good enough to challenge Stacey Lewis, who is the winner here.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the Walmart Golf Striking Sun Championship.
Well, they worked so hard here to make this one of the premier events on tour. The folks in the local community come out, support it with such enthusiasm. They've wanted Stacey Lewis to make it happen, and she has this year. Champion. 3 victories in 2014. This was the win in Texas. Now the ShopRite LPGA Classic, 6-shot wins in both of those 2 events. This was a lot closer. She wins it by 1 over 3 players. 3rd win in her last 7 starts. Lewis wins by 1 over Ko, Kerr, and Stanford. Stacey Lewis is with Jerry Foltz.
Thank you, Tom. We have to do this interview indoors because as soon as she steps out the doors of the clubhouse, the fans are understandably going to go nuts. How proud of you, of yourself, are you for performing in what you consider, I guess, your 6th major in front of the most understandably biased crowd I've ever seen?
It's so hard to play here. It's so much harder than people think. And I can tell you I was more nervous today than I was at the U.S. Open last week. And that's just how much this place means to me. And the fans today were it was unreal. I mean, I've never heard cheers so loud, and it's just really, really special to win here.
The 18th hole, 214 to the front, you decide to lay up. If you don't make birdie, perhaps a little second guessing would be going on. What went into that decision?
Well, it was more, it was the lie. You know, it was a side hill, downhill lie, and I just didn't feel like I could carry the front edge. And so I didn't want that little 50, 60-yarder down there at the bottom of the hill. I wanted a full shot in there, and I pulled the shot off and pulled the putt off, too.
Just when I think your game can't get any better and your confidence can't get any higher, you do something like you did today. 34th after the first round and only a 3-round tournament. You end up winning. Now you're heading to an event where you're the defending champion. It has to feel like everything's coming together.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, coming off of last week where I was so close, and then to come here and to win, it's really nice to just have that going into the British. But I don't know what it is about these final rounds. I love getting in the heat of the battle at the last day and just making some birdies.
Was that the loudest thing you ever heard on 17 before?
17 and 18 was pretty loud too. So yeah, it was. But I mean, one of the coolest rounds I've ever played.
That makes everybody's hair stand on end, I'm sure. Congratulations, well done, good luck at the Women's British.
Awesome, thank you.
You bet. Guys.
Thanks, Jerry. Take a look at the updated standings in the race to the CME Globe. 500 points for Stacey Lewis, and she maintains that top spot. She now has 3,594 points. She is 100 points ahead of Michelle Wee, which means that she cannot be caught despite what happens at Royal Birkdale. But this race will continue as we head towards the CME Group Tour Championship in Naples at the end of the year. What a week, Judy.
What a week. This is a wonderful place that so welcomes the women and LPGA golf, and the LPGA and these women love coming back here. So I hope it is a very long relationship.
The LPGA Tour heads to Europe. We'll have news reports for you from the Ricoh Women's British Open on Golf Channel, on Morning Drive and Golf Central. Coming up next is the United Leasing Championship on the web.com tour. Many thanks to Beth Hutter and John Del Vecchio leading our hard-working team here in Rogers, Arkansas. From Judy Rankin, Kurt Byram, Jerry Foltz, Karen Stupples, and myself, Tom Abbott, it's goodbye from the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. Stacey Lewis is the winner here in Rogers.
This has been a presentation on the only worldwide network dedicated to the game, Golf Channel, part of NBC Sports.